Hi, everybody. I'm Monsignor Jim Vaughn, and welcome to Good News. As always, I want to welcome Karen Danker-Smith to the show.
Hello, everyone.
You're playing Angry Birds.
Oh, stop it. No one wants to watch you play
I'm not
Angry
playing
Birds.
that. I'm watching my favorite show. I love this iPad.
Oh.
Look at this. My favorite show.
Hello and welcome to
Me.
Everyday Faith Time.
It's pretty
There
good,
you
right?
are.
Look at this. It's me on me. Competition 14 times over. These things are amazing. You know, you have one of these, right?
Yes,
An iPad?
and I love it, and my kids love it. It's great.
Now, this has sort of changed technology in so many ways
It really
now.
has.
It's a whole new world out there, and most of you probably know. But if you're not, you know, these are great tools for a lot of things. You can watch TV on them, of course, and television programming. We have a Telecare TV app.
Yes, we do.
Go to the App Store. You can download it for free. But also, there's all these other things that you can do on here that's incredible. I mean, there's so many different things you
I
can
know.
do.
And as a parent, you would think, oh, iPads, you know, with your little kids. But Gavin, at 3 years old, letter recognition, number recognition, learning how to write by tracing. They have amazing educational apps.
That's the other component of it. And actually, these things now are being used in academic settings, which is incredible.
Yeah,
So
sure.
we have a high school here on Long Island in our own diocese that is using this as part of the curriculum now.
Oh, that's
And there is an
exciting.
iPad curriculum at St. Mary's
How
in Manhasset.
exciting.
I'm very excited about this. They came on to talk about it before the school year began. And I asked them if they'd come on once it all got going so we could take a look at how
Great.
it actually developed.
Oh,
So they're
great.
back today to give us a little report on how iPad is helping the learning process in this high school setting.
That is great.
So it's an amazing little tool, and the iPad, like I said, this technology. I think God's caught up in all of this because
Right.
it helps us to learn better. And doctors are using these at people's bedsides now, and
That's
all
right.
kinds of different things.
You
know,
better believe it.
it's a pretty cool
Oh,
thing.
good. That's really exciting.
Yeah, so maybe you'll learn something. Get another app, maybe if your iPad.
Sounds good. I'll listen carefully.
I love all that. Do you have a favorite app?
Oh,
Now, applications. These are the things you
my
can do on it.
favorite
different
is
programs.
I have my book. I have my Kindle on my iPad,
So you
and
can
I
do
read
that, right?
every single night,
That's
and I
pretty cool.
love it.
Well,
love
there's
it.
my favorite app of all time is iBreviary. So it's free. You don't have to
Okay.
pay anything. It's like the Telecare TV app. It's free, and you download it, and it has the entire prayer that we pray. The Liturgy of the Hours is all there. You could pray morning prayer, evening prayer, daytime prayer, night prayer, and it also has the readings from Mass every day.
Isn't that
All of that stuff
amazing?
for free. Right on your little device. It's wonderful.
Oh, that's really
Usually we have to
great.
carry around the books with all the ribbons and stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
This thing's great. It just helps me
And
to
let
pray all
me
day
tell
long.
you, I know from being a teacher in an elementary school that kids now, 6th grade, 5th grade, they bring in their, not necessarily an iPad, but a Nook or a Kindle. And that's where they're reading their books now.
Exactly
and it's become
right.
so familiar to them.
And they're
so to be
comfortable.
using it in the high school, this is what they know.
It's
and
an important thing, and
it's so
training them
great.
for the 21st
That's
century. I mean,
right.
we're there, and that's what we need to do.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah,
So I
really
love it.
exciting.
And you can pray with these. You can
Yes.
pray the Rosary with them. I do all the time. There's so many things you can do with this that are good and healthy things to do. So that's a pretty cool thing. Now
Sure.
another guest we have. Look, we go from one thing to another. The old media. Of
That's
course,
right.
But our friend Marion Salenz is back with us.
Oh, I
So
love
Marion is a great cook, and she has
is.
published a number of books. I mean, I don't know what number this is. We're going to have to ask her. But this is All Are Welcome to This Table.
Nice.
This book weighs about 14 pounds. It is definitely a great book, and it's a cookbook that
Yes.
talks about family and faith, and
Well,
lots of great pictures in there.
While
and,
you were playing Angry Birds, I was looking at the pictures.
Yeah, look at this, boy.
I know.
This is pretty
and
good,
the
right?
desserts,
Yeah.
whoo!
Now, the other good thing I know, and I haven't seen Marion yet, she's probably in the green room, you know?
Yeah.
She never comes empty-handed.
I know.
So this is going to be a good
Let's
thing for
hope.
us here, but also a good thing for you, because the family table is an important place for us, right?
Yeah.
It's where family grows and gets developed. And,
Yes, and we can find, like for us in our family, everyone has a million things going on, and
Yeah.
it's dinner time when we sit and we
and it's
talk.
nice. All right, let's get busy. We're going to do some iPad, and we're going to do some cooking, and we're going to do some eating, I guess. So we'll see you in a second. Let's go. As the freshman students entered the hallways of St. Mary's High School in Manhasset this past September, they were each issued a unique educational tool. An iPad, believe it or not. St. Mary's is one of the first schools to implement the iPad technology for an entire class level. And with us today is Matthew Elliott, a music teacher at the high school, and Victoria Di Giovanni, a very lucky freshman. That's pretty cool, right? Karen and I have been talking about it.
Oh,
Both of us
yeah.
have an iPad. We use it for a lot of different things. So this is pretty amazing.
Sounds
So,
about time.
Can you just tell us a little bit about the program and how it, we kind of know how it came about, but maybe just refresh us on how it's going.
It's not just Catholic high schools, but high schools in general are always trying to use technology in new ways. As the world becomes more and more driven by technology, it's very important to prepare students for that. But up until very recently, the only way to go about that was with computer labs and kind of isolated uses of technology and projectors and smart boards, which the students didn't really have constant involvement with. And so the recent development of iPads and other tablets has allowed us to kind of enter a time period where students can have the technology in their hands at all times, and interact with it on a more constant and deeper level throughout the day.
Now, do you have to get a grant? Did the school get a grant for this, or is it just sort of incorporated into the general?
There were a wide variety of funding sources
I
explored.
believe it.
So yeah, it took a lot of logistics. Principal Jonathan Kramer was on your show,
Yeah.
and he was, took him a lot of preparation time to figure out how to
Sure.
pull it off, but it's been working really well.
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah.
Got it
Now,
done.
Victoria, you walk into the school, and here you are, you're in ninth grade. You get handed this thing, which generally speaking is a thing of fun, for the most part, right? Like it's Angry Birds and all the fun things you can do with it and everything. And also the iTunes and also watching movies on it. There's lots of stuff. Facebook we can do on it. Now, did you have to go through a transition into it being actually a tool for your education? Like, how did that work?
They actually blocked all those things on our iPad. I don't have the camera on my iPad. We don't have games. In school, all the websites like Facebook and YouTube, they're all blocked.
We've
Very
successfully
smart.
removed
Yes.
the fun.
They're very smart.
Gee whiz.
But when you take it
Yes.
home, is it
But
different?
when you take it home, the websites aren't blocked, but you can't use the camera. You can't really download any of your music. You can't download games or movies or anything.
So what do you do in the classroom with an iPad?
Anything.
Really?
Yeah,
Take notes?
You could definitely take notes. I record lectures.
No way.
Yes, I do, using this app called Show Me.
Wow.
And then in history, we have this app called Timeline Eons, and it's a huge timeline dating back to the beginning of time, and it goes all the way to the end of time. It's all predictions, I guess.
Yeah.
But it shows you everything. Everything that was invented, who was ruling at this
Wow.
specific time, what war we were in, everything. Who
So now,
died.
I mean, this is sort of amazing to me because, I grew up in a world where, you went up to the chalkboard if you were lucky and wrote on the chalkboard, "Oh, she picked me," So this is incredible that this is going on. Are students now not carrying notebooks anymore, and people are just basically doing this on the iPad for the most part? Or?
A lot of people are doing that, especially with the agenda books. People are just throwing that away and putting their daily homework assignments in their iPad. I still like to use the old agenda book, but we also take notes a lot in class. We have notebooks, of course,
Yeah.
to do other work, but mainly we use the iPads.
That's really something else, right?
So incredible.
Now, Matt, in your area, because you teach music, right?
I do.
So, how is the presence of the iPad helped your curriculum, and how do you utilize it?
I've probably benefited more from the iPad than any other teacher, because my freshman curriculum includes both chorus, which is a fairly participatory activity in the first place, and the iPad hasn't really enhanced choir singing
Right,
yet.
right, yeah.
But I also teach music theory, and teaching students all of the complexities of rhythm and harmony and melody has been very difficult with, small keyboards that don't sound good, or projectors, or photocopies of things, and everything was very abstract in the absence of something like this that allows me to put a small piano in everybody's lap. And there are various apps that I use to teach rhythmic reading and melodic reading, and there's
Wow.
notation software. And so we use, in my class, I use the iPad every day. And so it has been an incredibly valuable tool for me, just because the way it's designed allows you to do so much, and each student in the class has it in their hands.
Now, how are the teachers? Have they been receptive, excited, kicking and screaming about it?
Definitely excited.
Yeah.
I think in the beginning it was, excitement tempered a little bit by
Sure,
anxiety, as
sure.
we didn't know how this was going to work, given the fact that we all know the various fun things that these things can do.
Sure.
But the number of apps being developed for educational purposes is growing exponentially. And so it's enabled us to kind of do a lot more. You were mentioning going up to the chalkboard. That idea can now happen simultaneously for all of the students, because there's an app called eClicker where the teacher can transmit questions of a quiz to every student, and then every student can answer, and then the teacher can then project the results and how many students got it right and how many got it wrong, and self-assessment and all kinds of great stuff like that. So it's been really beneficial, and kind of overcome any skepticism we had, when we were starting.
Did the faculty have to go through a lot of training kind of to get this together?
Definitely.
Yeah.
The teachers of freshmen, myself included, were all given our iPads at the end of last year, and about April. And so we had a series of meetings where we kind of got together and brainstormed about which apps would be most useful and cross-disciplinary versus individual disciplines. And then over the summer, we had homework to figure out how we were going to incorporate it. And so when we showed up in September, everyone was fairly, comfortable with using it in class.
And what about the parents? Like, can they participate? I mean, I guess there's an online kind of thing where parents can go on and see how you guys are doing in school and all that stuff too?
Yes, both students and parents.
Yes,
I know.
HomeLogic.
Yeah.
We have HomeLogic, and what it is, you go on and you're given your own username and your own password, and the parents, parents and the teachers have, parents and the students have it, and the students can't change anything, so we can't really,
Right, fudge the
you know.
grades. Yeah, that's probably a good thing.
What happens is you go on and it shows you all your assignments for the week and next week and the previous week, and it shows you all your grades for each class.
Wow.
And it shows
So you
you
can't say
everything,
like,
yeah.
I have no homework, because they
Yeah,
can check and
right.
say,
You
yes, you
cannot
do.
say
Yeah,
that.
mom and
Yeah.
dad can look at the
Yeah.
website and say, it says you have homework.
I'm
Yeah.
liking that.
right.
Now I have two practical questions. Do you get to keep that iPad? Like, you take it home for the summer and everything, or you have to turn it in?
I actually, do we get to keep it for
You get to keep it.
Surprise.
I'm liking that a lot.
Yes.
Number two, because Karen's iPad, here's the story. She dropped it on the floor. Good night. The thing's all broken and everything.
What
Like, is there
happened?
some kind of situation? Like, what happens if a kid
Yeah.
drops it?
We've had that happen in the first.
It's got to happen, right?
Yeah.
3 weeks of school. I had we were right about to use the rhythm program, and everyone got out their iPads, and this guy had a totally shattered screen.
Yeah.
I was like, don't think that's gonna work. So they work with Apple for warranty coverage.
Yeah.
Wow,
We have people on staff. Mr. I does a lot of like the
Yes.
tech support. So yeah, tech support is a big
Yeah.
Big part
aspect
of it,
of
right?
it because like any piece of technology, sometimes it goes down, sometimes
Sure.
it freezes up and needs to be reset. So there's channels for students to kind of make sure that they're constantly being updated and making sure everything is maintained. So yeah, those things come up, but the students have been surprisingly good about taking care of them and
Yeah.
That's
being
great.
mindful. And so, yeah, the number of instances over the whole student population in terms of dropping and breaking and damage, you can count on one hand, which is really
That's
really
impressive.
great.
That's a nice thing. That's
Yeah.
a very nice
Sure.
thing. Now, I know I have taught at the seminary, for a bit, and one of the things that the students there, they all have laptops, and everybody takes notes by laptop, now. And I guess most colleges, that's probably what's going on now in colleges and universities. How would you compare that with the iPad? Do you find this is easier? It's probably more convenient in some levels, but how do you find it? Do you think it would be an easy transition to a laptop, or you would stay with an iPad in college? What do you think?
I think I'd stay with the iPad in college because even if you get bored of the whole touch screen thing, you have cases that have a wireless keyboard, but other than that, you can save documents on here just like a laptop. You can do everything just like a laptop, and I just think it's great.
That's a really cool thing. Can you put skins on it and stuff? Like, do you have a St.
yeah.
Mary's school skin yet, or no?
I'm sure that is being
that's coming.
designed as we
Right,
speak.
I'm
Yes.
king of marketing. I'm always thinking, how can we make money off of this thing? There you go. Yeah, I'm going to make a Telecare skin. Maybe we can get that over to you. That's a good idea,
Yep,
right?
that's a
Well,
great
there's a
idea.
free Telecare app. Free.
That's
So
right.
maybe that's an opportunity that we can get going in your school, and you could use it for theology or religion class,
What a great
Because
idea.
Absolutely.
because it's a free app, and it's an awesome app. It's got all of our programming and stuff on it. So we'll see how it goes. That's
so
amazing.
exciting.
What about the school website, man?
School
The
website.
name, just so people can go to it and take a look.
www.stmary.ws, and that's a link to the parish's website, and there's links to the elementary school and the high school from there, and a whole lot of information is available on the website about the iPad and all the other opportunities that St. Mary's offers.
I think this is an amazing
It's
thing,
so
right?
exciting. Next year, the freshmen will get one and they keep it. So by the time
Right.
you're a senior, we were
Yes.
saying the whole school will have and
Yes.
iPad. That's
And-
amazing.
Yeah, this is cool. This is something we should check in again, you know?
Sure.
It's not Miss Crabtree's classroom
That's
anymore, is it?
right.
Or Miss Crabtree has an iPad.
Yeah, Miss Crabtree has graduated to an iPad. I don't know. It's a whole new world. It seems like I would have loved being in school at
I
this
know
time,
it.
boy. This
I
would be so
know.
much fun, you know,
It is
to be able to
exciting.
utilize this technology. It's so great. All right. Well, thanks so much, you guys, for being here. We appreciate you coming. And come back
you.
and let us know how it's going. Let's keep checking in, all right?
Absolutely.
It's time for a quick break, but when we get back, we'll be joined by a wonderful chef who's just released her latest cookbook. So stick around. There's lots more good news to come. Our next guest has captured the essence of three things that are near and dear to most of us: food, family, and faith, in our wonderful series of cookbooks. It's always a pleasure to have her on Good News, and she always brings something delicious with her. Her latest cookbook is called All Are Welcome to This Table. Please welcome Marion Salenza back to Good News. Marion, thanks for being with us.
I'm so happy you invited me.
We're so
And
glad.
I have to take this opportunity and thank you and Telecare. Words can't possibly express, nor deeds, they're few and far between, that I could do to express the admiration, the gratitude, the love and affection that I have for Telecare TV.
Well, we love you,
isn't that
Marion.
nice?
We love you, really do.
And,
Look at all of
I
these books,
appreciate
Karen.
it.
This is Menu
Yes.
Log. This is when we first met. This is when Marion and I first started dating. This was the first book, because this is how I met her, was with Menu Log.
Yes.
Then we have Lunches in the
I
Bag.
remember
this
that
one,
one,
right?
yes.
And then we also have From the Table of Plenty. This is
Very
the other,
nice.
and I've used this one a number
That
of
was
times.
the family one.
Yep. And now the latest one is right here. And this is a wonderful one. This one is near and dear to my heart. All are welcome to this table.
That's
because I wrote a little blurb that's in this. It's on the back cover, actually, of this book. Isn't that great?
Nice.
Marion, why don't you tell the story once again of how you got involved in these books? Because I think it's an
Yes.
awesome thing.
Well, the 4 books comprise a story of my life. And I go back to when I was a youngster, keeping a composition notebook on the kitchen counter all the time, where I would jot down my mom's endeavors, relatives, if I read something in a book, in the newspaper, whatever. And I was very interested in cooking. I tried out different things. In fact, I had a couple of disasters, but that didn't deter me at all. And through the years, I had this notion, especially when I became a married woman, I wanted to compose a book for my family and friends, because we entertained a lot. I would say we had a dinner party once a month,
Wow.
and at least 3 or 4 large parties during the year, one of which I'll get a kick out of this one. When my son graduated from St. Pius Prep Seminary, we had 73 people there,
Wow.
plus some adults who were going to chaperone. And I fed them all pasta. We had lasagnas, and the salads were helped. A guy helped me during the day from the seminary, who was a few years ahead of Chip, with whom we had become good friends. In fact, his grandpa gave me allium, you know, those beautiful garlic plants, those pom-pom flowers.
Sure.
They still come up every year.
Wow.
He's a Monsignor in our church right now, and he helped me to make the salads.
Isn't that
time
wonderful?
For the
Isn't that
party.
great?
We go way back. So when I did the first book, when I finally wrote it down, I had 3 different editions of that. Because by the time the late 70s and early 80s came, I wanted to revise it to healthy cuisine. The books have about 1,200 recipes.
It's unbelievable.
Wow.
Yeah.
And most of them are in menu form. I have them according to menus. Not all of them, but many, many, many menus in there. And this all healthy cooking. Low fat, no cholesterol to speak of, and hardly any salt.
But absolutely
except with
beautiful.
carbs.
And that's another thing that
Yes,
we want to
and
mention
I-
is that, like, the photography in
Oh,
your
yeah.
books, Marion.
Oh, thank you.
They're just gorgeous. I mean,
photography-
look at
Ooh.
these. I mean, this is
That's
like.
my favorite page.
Yeah, Karen was looking at this page and she was. I think she might have gotten it wet. I'm
Yeah.
not sure. But she was staring at it before we
it's
started.
amazing.
Now, and these
Well, I'm
photographs.
very happy that you said that, because I take the photos. First, I took them with a Nikon.
So you
6000.
take these pictures?
Yes, I
This
take
is not
my own
like some professional
photo.
person you hired.
Wow.
No, I take
That's
my own
impressive.
photos. In my family room, I even have lighting. I have this, torch, or these torches.
Sure.
And I set it up, and my son, God bless him, He's the one who's really the very smart boy when it comes to this.
Really?
He looks at them all and says, "Oh, you got to brighten this a little. You got
Yeah.
to do this." But he's the okayer.
Look at
Now,
these. Here's some
Marion,
more.
there are pictures of these beautiful meals and the desserts, but I noticed also pictures of people, family, military.
Lots of that, too,
photos.
yes.
What
Let me
is
show you
that
that.
about?
Well,
Right here.
Yeah, right,
my,
right.
my new book, which is a continuation of From the Table of Plenty. From the Table of Plenty is the pièce de résistance. It expressed in there all that I wanted to express.
Okay.
And this was like a leftover plus. I decided I wanted to remember all the people in the service that were in my family. We had quite a few people in
Wow,
the
that's
service.
all your family. Oh,
Isn't that great?
wow.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
All the blood relatives are pictured. Then I enumerate those who were married into the family.
Sure,
Because I
sure.
just I didn't want to put enough room to have all the other photos.
It's incredible.
I have the photos that were given to me mostly from my family and friends. I am very appreciative. I even have some food kitchens there from different parishes with permission. And I have a photo of high school teenagers eating their lunch in one of the reputable Catholic high schools.
Good, that's all right.
Holding up their juice glasses. But I thought that that's just what I wanted to convey, the message that all are welcome to my table.
Now, talk about, speaking of your table, some of the things you
Yes.
brought today, Marion, because they're
All
absolutely
right?
beautiful.
I had crib notes, but I remember them.
You've got to look at them and tell me what they
Yes. Clams oreganada
which is unbelievable, so delicious.
and manigotti made from crepe, like
So homemade,
with homemade,
from scratch.
and meatballs and sausages. Fennel
Beautiful.
sausages are sweet with fennel.
Beautiful.
Then I made a Big Hero Italian type
Italian
salami
hero.
provolone, and I made wraps with the same idea. And those are pizza wraps, and
That's beautiful.
I grilled them just a little bit.
Yum.
And it's tossed salad, which is an Italian salad, and it's got arugula in it. And Asiago cheese sprinkled
Beautiful.
all over it. And I make the breadsticks with provolone, prosciutto, and
An asparagus spear in there. That's beautiful, too.
They're,
Yeah.
they're just blanched.
Now, where can people get this, Marion? I know that.
All my recipes are in my cookbook.
And where can they get the book if they want
The
it?
book could be gotten through me at my webpage, marioncooks.com.
Beautiful.
Or through amazon.com.
Beautiful.
Or through any bookstore online.
Beautiful. So there
Very
you go,
nice.
everybody. If you want to get a copy of this is the way to do it. You see, Marion is also a great sponsor at Telecare, too. She comes and runs some of her ads for us, and it helps support the station, but also helps you to get to know more about her books. So get her book, and don't forget, there's a great quote from me on the back of this book, and I say I love
And
her
it's the most beautiful quote you would ever want to read.
I love her philosophy of life. I love her youthful energy, which this book conveys so well. And that's the
Yes.
truth of Marion Salenzo. When she is in this building,
We
the whole
all
building
get
buzzes.
excited.
The whole
That's right.
building buzzes. And this morning, people were saying when I was coming in, Marion's coming in today. Right?
Yeah,
I said,
that's
yes, she is.
true.
So thank you so much for being
I
here.
thank you again for accepting me here all the time, and I just want to leave my books as a legacy, not just for my family and myself, but for Telecare.
Of course.
Oh,
and you are
great.
part of the family, Marion.
Great.
When our telethon comes, you're not watching on TV this year. This year you come down, all right? We want to have you in the studio with us, okay, for the telethon? You come by?
Hopefully I will.
All right,
yes.
That
good.
would
We'd
be
love to have you,
lovely.
okay?
Hopefully I'll come.
And then we'll see, there's lots more going on.
Because we're going to start an ebook regime now.
I love it.
We're going to give it a try after the
Good.
first of the year.
Good idea. Good idea, because this way Karen can put it on her iPad. She'll be
That's
happy.
right. I need some help with the
I prefer you
recipes.
get the book. The books are so beautiful.
I know.
Yeah,
I
they
like
are
a book too. I'm
beautiful.
like you. I like a book too. But thanks for being with us,
thank
Marion. I
you
love you.
again.
You're a good person. I
God bless
appreciate it
you.
very much. All right. Keep up the good work. Stay active in that parish. You help them out so much over there too, right?
We always do.
I'm glad. All right. We're going to take a quick break, but stick around. There's plenty more good news to come right after this. Welcome back, everyone. You know, when it comes to technology, we usually fall on either one side or the other, that, oh, it's bad and we don't need it, or we love it and we just become addicted to it. And I guess part of the reality for us is to try to come someplace in the middle, where technology becomes something that assists us in our life, but doesn't take over our life. You know, sometimes I have a basket out on the table in my office where I have a meeting table, and I ask everybody to put their technology in the basket while we meet, so that we just have a time to just be with each other and talk instead of just clicking and dinging and listening to and watching our emails all the time. It's something about that ability to be able to use the technology that we've been given by God, that really has been a tremendous gift, and allow it to feed us versus take over our lives. It's an interesting situation because everything is so immediate immediate now. Now, to deny technology and say we don't want to use technology, well, that would sort of be to deny the gifts that God is giving us. There was a time when a heart bypass was extraordinary technology, and now it's something that's relatively ordinary, thanks be to God. I think the same thing's true about the technology that we develop now, that it should help us and help us to be healthier and more knowledgeable and help us to be more immediate in our ability to help other people. But when it takes over our lives, it's a very, very hard thing. Can you remember the days before cell phones?
Barely.
Barely.
Or when it was just for the car, just for emergencies.
Yeah, I remember
And
the
now-
days clearly before
Yes,
cell phones. And
yeah.
guess what? Everybody get where they had to go. There were no
That's
emergencies
very
that people didn't
true.
find out. We did
Very
okay.
true. I like your put your technology in the basket.
Yeah, it's a
I'm
good
gonna
thing, right?
use that at home right
Well,
before dinner.
I was at a meeting where somebody asked me to do it one time. You know, it's
Yeah.
like we put all our phones in here and we just leave them in the basket. There's something to be said for
I
that.
think that's a great
1 hour we
idea.
could do it. I know somebody who
Absolutely.
fasts from technology for Lent.
You're kidding.
How you like that? No computer, no phone for Lent.
And how'd it go?
No, I don't know. Could you do it?
I don't think
I'd be
so.
crying. I don't think I could do it. We're just so caught up in this. It's amazing.
Yeah,
A gift
it's a
from
good
God,
message,
but a
though.
gift to be used well to
That's
help us to
right.
learn and to grow and to keep us still in contact with each other so that we're not just
Yeah.
electronic friends, you know?
Right.
See,
Good
look,
point.
I can still shake your hand.
Human contact
Even though
right
I'll email
here.
you later. All right. Well, we hope you enjoyed the show. Remember, whatever you do this week,
Keep on spreading the good news.
have a great weekend.
Bye, everyone.